Welcome to Whole CEO with Lisa G. I'm the best-selling author of The Boss Weight Loss. I'm bringing you the top tips to be unstoppable. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually pull up a chair with today's top experts in mindset, weight loss, business, and more. Learn our top tips so that you can have more energy, be fit and resilient, feel unstoppable, unshakable, and unbreakable. He's an accomplished CEO, business strategist, keynote speaker, award-winning author, certified workplace coach, radio show host, and media personality dedicated to empowering business leaders and their businesses to boost their brands and business, helping them foster better workplace environments for engagement, retention, and revenue quickly and inexpensively. He's worked with organizations such as JP Morgan, Chase, Ralph Lauren, GE, and Oracle. So welcome to the podcast, Chris Salem.
Lisa, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I love all the stuff that you're doing for any of you people out there that are lazy and just doing any one of them. Very impressive. So I want to jump right into the content. And based on the research I've done on the books you've written and the shows that you have, how can we master the art of success?
Well, mastering the art of success is a process. It's a journey. It's not a destination. And a lot of times we get caught up in looking for instantaneous results and we want to get to the destination, but we don't want to embrace the process that gets us there. And about mastering the art of success is the ability to now learn how to think differently, to be it, then become it. And then when we do things differently from it, we can have different and better results. So that starts with the foundation, and that foundation starts with how we think each and every day, and learning to focus from intentions rather than expectations, and learning also to focus on what we can control in the process, letting go of the things that we can't. When we're able to now solidify a foundation, what I just shared there, this is what's going to get us on track and to embrace the process towards the success that we're aiming for, and to make it more sustainable long term. And I'm happy to dive in deeper into that process if you'd like me to.
Yeah, I would love to unpack that a little bit because it's so powerful. I love the focusing on intention. And I also love the fact that you do want to set your mind up for success and that you want to focus on the solution. I feel like sometimes there's so many problems in the last 3 years that we get caught up in problem without being solution focused. So feel free to dive in a little deeper to any of those points that you mentioned about intention and about being focused on solutions and things like that, and focused on your intention.
Sure, absolutely. So what I would say is that, again, when you look at challenges and problems, don't see them as just that. See them as opportunities. So think about, like with anything, when there's a challenge, what happens when we can go through a challenge and come out the other side? We learn something, we grow from it, we expand. If everything could go right, what will happen? We'll become complacent, bored, and then it's human nature. What do we do as a result of becoming complacent and bored? We create a problem, and we get caught in our own complacency and boredom, and so on. So challenges and obstacles are a good thing because we can learn and grow from it. So when we look at the process, it's learning how to think differently. It's learning to operate in the moment rather than the past and the future. Fear thrives in the past and the future. And what is the byproduct of operating when you think in the past and the future from fear? Stress, anxiety, feeling overwhelmed, feeling things are out of your control, feeling frustrated, angry, and the list goes on. And the reason why a lot of that happens is because we're operating from our own expectations and expectations of others. What happens with expectations? They often go unfulfilled.
They're awful. Yeah. Because nobody thinks like you.
Yeah. The reason why they go unfulfilled is because they're caught up in the things we can't control. I
Right.
can't control COVID. I can't control what's happening in my industry. I can't control the traffic that I'm going to a meeting that I might be late, but even though I left an hour earlier, I can't control the economy and inflation. And I can't control other people. All I can control is what I do. So
Right.
it's learning to shift our way of thinking from the past and the future, from expectations to being in the moment,
Right.
trusting the process from intentions. And that's learning to focus on what we can control. And there are 5 things that are really instrumental in that.
Yeah.
That is the communication to yourself and other people. How you communicate to yourself will dictate how you now connect and communicate effectively to other people. If you're speaking from your inner critic,
Right.
and then you're in a champion, it's most likely going to come out in a passive or aggressive way in how you communicate to people. Passive people tend to say yes to everything. They tend to sacrifice their own agendas for others because they're doing it because they're seeking a validation, and they're often doing it from limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Aggressive people tend to do it because they're perfectionists, or they tend to think that they tend not to trust that other people can do things to their level of expectation. And when
Right.
they do try to delegate, they have a hard time doing that. So, but when we can learn to be more assertive with ourselves from our inner champion, be assertive to other people and being specific, clear, and concise in our communication, whether if we're the sender or the receiver, we leave very little to no room for assumption and speculation. And that's where the problems happen in everyday life with
Yeah.
people, relationships, and business and customers. It's that assumption and speculation that we get caught up in. When we can be assertive, again, as the sender or the receiver, and get more clarity,
Yeah.
we have very little room for that. Now, imagine if your behavior now is in alignment with your communication. It's assertive, not passive aggressive. Now that's number 2. Now, number 3 is our attitude, seeing things happening for you, not to you. When it's happening for you, you see the obstacles, challenges, problems as opportunities to grow, not that you're the victim and the excuses why you can't do certain things. Number 4 is our emotions and how we respond versus
Right.
react
Correct.
to people and situations. So this way now we don't, even though we feel maybe angry or upset, and that's a real feeling, and you put it under the carpet. You can deal with it on your time, but it's learning to now take a breath, maybe remove ourselves, and then come back when we can now respond rather than react from an email or face to face when we're talking to people, to respond to the situation or the person or the people, not react from it, because that's not going to help. And then finally, our action, our daily action. We can control those 5 things. But if
Yes.
I can learn to let go of the control of those 5 things in other people and situations and focus on those 5 with me, that's a game changer in terms of how I can solidify my foundation to think from intentions, trusting the process in the moment, and allowing the results to be a byproduct of it. That is mastering the art of success long term.
Those tips are pure gold. I hope you guys are taking notes out there that are listening. And especially communication, to me, I think is so important. If somebody isn't repeating back what they heard, then there's not really any clarity on if they heard it the way it was intended. And if they don't take that pause before they react instead of respond, then they can be more solution focused rather than problem focused.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
love that topic. And also, too, I love resolving our inner critic. Like, how can we get to the root cause?
Yeah, how we get to the root cause is, sometimes a very painful thing. We don't want to address the things that are holding us back, our limiting beliefs that can, and these limiting beliefs are powerful. They can impact your self-esteem, your confidence, how you communicate to yourself and other people, how you make decisions, how you take risks, your attitude, your behavior, your emotions, and your action. Some people are busy but not productive.
Right.
That's the form of procrastination. So when we can learn to now get to the root cause of our limiting beliefs and let them go, that's a great thing that we can do to now replace it with healthier habits and things that will fill our head with everything we shared earlier. How we could go about doing that is developing a daily routine, maybe getting up at a certain time, making your bed. Meditation and journaling together are the 2 cornerstones of helping you to get to the root cause of limiting beliefs.
Yes.
When you can get into a meditative state over time, it took me 9 months to do that. And I had
Right.
a white. I had a hard time doing that when I started this 24 plus years ago. But when you can get down into your subconscious mind begins to open up and let your conscious mind know what are the things that are getting in the way. And I learned how to let go of these things and forgive myself, more importantly, not just the people that led up to that.
Right.
But I knew for me, I had a strong need for validation because I didn't get it growing up from my father. So I became very passive in terms of my behavior and communication, and people often, I felt exhausted because I would go out of my way to please them in order to get their validation. And I was also a perfectionist. So I had the aggressive side because I got it from my mother, who was, everything had to be done right. And when it wasn't done right, she'd do it for me. So that passive aggressive behavior, I had to learn to let it go and forgive and replace it with healthier habits to be more assertive. And over time, that dramatically improved all those areas that I could control in myself that I talked about earlier. And that is how, so meditation, journaling, could be reading, could be exercising, just having a routine and starting with one thing, doing it for 30 days using discipline and being consistent. And once you've done it for 30 days, add another, and then you develop a routine over 6 months. And that routine is going to be your foundation to think differently, to be it, to become it, and now do things differently to have different and better results in mastering the art of success.
I love that you started with meditation. For me, that's just such a powerful game changer in my life. I've listened over and over to Dr. Joe Dispenza talking about getting over the habit of being yourself, and how if you get up and you do the same thing and you look at your phone and you make your coffee, then you're just repeating yesterday. And if something bothered you 35 years ago, and then it's become your personality because you've been dwelling on it for so long. So I love your tips for sustainable success, starting with meditation. Are there any final tips you want to leave our audience on sustainable success based on all of your vast knowledge?
What I'd like to share, Lisa, is a statement, and not to just hear this statement because it sounds nice, but to really embrace it and actually put it to work. It's a quote that I often use. It's my quote. It's called "Give without expectations, receive without resistance." Now, what that means is when you give without expectations, you're not just giving freely and letting people take advantage of you. You have to have boundaries. So you're not giving from a place of pleasing and enabling others. You're giving from a place of empathy and kindness. The best gift you can give somebody is through your example of those 5 things you can control.
Yeah.
Empowering them to do for themselves and then spreading it to other people and being resourceful. So instead of doing for them, be the example for them to do for themselves. So if you're looking to help somebody lose weight or get, have more energy in their life, well, be it.
Yeah.
Be it and become it, and you'll inspire someone to do it for themselves. You can't make somebody lose weight. So the thing is, the key is to give it from empathy and kindness without expectation, and knowing that it comes back to you from somewhere else. And if it serves you, it serves you mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, intellectually, or environmentally. Those are the 8 pillars of wellness. If it serves you, you receive it to fill your cup, and then you give it away again. It's like a boomerang. You fill your cup, you give without expectation. As your cup gets slightly depleted, it comes back to you, you fill it up again, and repeat the process. That is the law of prosperity, and many ways in helping with the law of attraction as well.
I love all of this stuff. It's like such powerful stuff that I believe in, and having been through so much disruption myself in the last 3.5 years, I really know that these steps work for me, but they're hard to implement. So as a recap, just restate the name of your 5 steps again, and where people can find you for more of this good stuff.
Sure. So again, it's focusing each and every day on the 5 things you can control: your communication to yourself and others. Your behavior is in alignment with your communication in an assertive versus a passive aggressive way. Your attitude, it's happening for you, not to you. Emotions, learning to respond versus react from a secondary emotion, a positive, not the negative, but dealing with the negative one on your own time. And then you're in your course of action. When you can be disciplined and consistent in those 5 things daily and be the example and be a resource to help others do that through those 5 areas, you're going to empower and bring out better situations for yourself. You're going to attract better people into your life that are going to create more opportunities to grow. That's what mastering the art of success is. It's operating from intentions, not expectations, trusting the process and allowing the results to be a byproduct of that process. Focus on what you can control, let go of what you can't, let the universe, your religion, whatever that is, let it do its part.
Right.
You show up and do your part. Nothing is handed to you on a silver platter. You got to work it to achieve it, to celebrate it. So those would be the things I do. And if anybody would like to connect and chat, I'm on LinkedIn at Christopher Salem, or you can reach out to me at chris@christophersalem.com. And my two websites are christophersalem.com and my business acceleration website, which is called sustainablesuccess.net.
Well, Chris Salem, thanks for being an awesome guest on WholeCEO with Lisa G.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Thanks for coming to WholeCEO with Lisa G. After over 20 years helping people lose weight and get fit, I'm so excited to announce that I found the missing link with my coaching. Message me if you want to learn how to look better, feel better, and go faster with a master. Lisa G at lisagfit.com.